Bonjour tout le monde. Hey everyone, I hope everybody can see me and everybody can hear me. Okay, I see quite a lot of people have joined today. Thank you so much for being a part of today's live and for participating today. We've been looking forward to this since almost the last 2 days. So welcome. We'll just wait for another minute for the rest of the students to join in if we have more participants, and we'll quickly start. In the meanwhile, for those who are joining in for the first time, hey everyone, my name is Ilakshi, and I'm going to be taking this workshop for you today. Most of you have seen me before, and those who haven't, welcome. I wish you a very, very warm welcome, bienvenue, et bonjour à vous aussi. Alors, quick request, like I always do with everyone, please turn on your cameras. I love seeing the nods while talking, while speaking to you guys. It really helps me keep going for an hour. Otherwise, talking to a black screen gets a little dull sometimes. So I request all of you to please turn on your cameras. It'll be really nice and very helpful to conduct this session more effectively and efficiently. All right, I think we have quite a few students who've joined in today, and that's great. It's great to see you guys in this number. Once again, bonjour guys. Hi, my name is Ilakshi. Thank you so much for joining in today's session. I want all of you to please turn on your cameras. It's a humble request. While I know that some of you might not be in a very comfortable space, maybe some of you are on your phone, but don't worry, I'm not judging anyone. Just turn on your cameras if feasible. It'll be very nice. Thank you. All right, guys. We all know what we're here for today. We're doing a session today specifically designed around the verb avoir. Now, I know that most of you here could be actually, since this is the cohort of students from A1, A2, B1, and some even from B2, the verb actually strikes a chord for everyone. There is something for everyone today in today's lesson, because not only do you come across this verb, the very first thing that you do when you start doing verbs in the language, but you continue to see this changing colors throughout the language. Whether it's in tenses, whether it's an expression, you keep seeing this verb playing around your head throughout the journey, no matter if you're in A1 level or a B2 level. Okay? So today, what we're gonna do, we're gonna decode some of the myths around the verb avoir, some expressions that we may not really understand still in French, and how they're very different from English. So we're gonna try and help you guys understand that today. Like always, we'd love to make this session interactive, so keep putting in your answers on the chat. You can unmute yourself and interact as well. That's great. And let's get this session started. Okay, I'm going to quickly share my screen. I need a heads up, thumbs up from everyone, just to know that you guys can see my screen clearly. All right. Alors, voila. Super. Thank you, Shania. I just want to know, everyone, can you all see my screen? You guys can put a thumbs up on the chat. I would know. And the ones who have their cameras turned on, obviously, I can see you guys. And you guys look beautiful. Thank you. Lovely. Superb, guys. All right. All right. On va commencer, but when we start, we're going to start off with some basic things, okay? You have a grid in front of you. And the question is very simple. C'est assez simple. Reconnais-tu ces verbes? Do you know these verbs, okay? Now, these are verbs you guys obviously would recognize at A1 or A2 level. And I'm pretty sure, of course, at B2 level. Now, I want all of you to just give me a heads up before we get into the game on what these verbs mean. All right? Now, le premier. Jouer au foot. What does it mean, guys? You guys can put it on the chat. You guys can unmute yourself and say, I'm okay with either way. What is jouer au foot? Lovely. Ankush, Marshad, Biswajit, Padmapriya, super. Okay. Jouer au foot, rightly said, means to play football. To play football. Superb. So the verb jouer, which is an ER verb, means to play. Lovely. Let's try out something else that's random. Habiter à la campagne. Alors, tout de suite, sur le chat. On the chat, everyone. What does habiter à la campagne mean? Living on the countryside. Thank you, Shana. That's perfectly correct. Habiter. Thank you, Gayatri. To live in the countryside. Mama, very good. Leah, Jasmine. Superb. That's perfect. All you guys who put the response in the chat, it's perfect. Habiter is to live. Donc, habiter à la campagne is to live at the countryside. Or in the countryside. So that's basically on the outskirts. Superb. Alors, on va choisir. OK. Avoir deux enfants. While most of you don't, still, let me know. What does it mean? Avoir deux enfants. Have two kids. Perfect. Absolutely, guys. We have Rohan, Shriya, Jasmine. Super. Avoir deux enfants means to have two kids. Superb. Let's take something at random again. Okay. Travailler à l'étranger. Travailler à l'étranger. What does it mean, guys? Working with a stranger or if it was okay, so we see working in foreign, working abroad, working in a foreign country. Thank you. Work abroad, absolutely, guys. So travailler à l'étranger means to work abroad or to work in a foreign land. Okay. If you were to work with a foreigner, that is travailler avec. And travailler à l'étranger is to work somewhere. So at a foreign location. So for those who got that right, thank you so much for putting it on the chat. And I hope I was able to clarify this distinction between avec and à le. Okay. So this is to work abroad or in a foreign land. Super. Now, you guys see that these are some very, very common verbs. We see them the first, or we learn them the first and the foremost thing when we start off our A1 level. Now, the most important, the most common ones among them is avoir. And avoir basically means to have. Correct? Shouldn't be a problem. It's a no-brainer. It means to have. And while we start doing the language, we feel like, okay, when I want to say I'm a girl, I'm a boy, I have a family, I'm going here, I'm going there. The words are simple and we simply translate them in English and it works. Big no-no. I always recommend everybody, once you reach a certain level, stop translating English to French. Stop doing that, guys. It really just acts as a blockchain to you. Don't. It's a roadblock for you. Don't do that. Let's understand how we use avoir in more than just saying I have, and what are these expressions that actually cause a problem to us as students an A1, A2, B1 and B2 level. And I've seen students even at B2 level not having this clarity and still using it incorrectly. And honestly, when you're in B2 level with your TEF and TCF examinations, it's obvious that you're expected to use nicer expressions, correct? And avoir is the most basic verb to use it with. So in order to fancy it a little bit, to up our game, let's understand how we can use avoir itself. Something that is very simple in using expressions which are very common that we come across every day, that we may need to use every day in our communications. All right? Alors, now, obviously, I've not given it to you on a plate in front of you. They're all jumbled. We're going to figure it out together. I also have a rustic memory, so we're going to figure it out together, guys. Okay? All right. Same way, I want anyone who wants to volunteer, and we can have somebody read the expression in French, and then also suggest what will be the possible phrase that matches in English. So anyone who wants to volunteer, okay, Shani, I see you first. And because I see you, you get a first chance. Super. You go with the first one. But you have to unmute yourself also.
Sorry.
Okay, now I can hear you. All right.
Avoir de la chance.
Super. And what does that mean? Out of the list that's given to you, what do you think avoir de la chance means?
To be lucky.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. To be lucky. Now, understand, in English, I would say to be lucky. Now, the verb to be has to be être. Why are we using avoir de la chance? Understand from a francophone mindset, they actually use it or translate it in their heads like to have luck, to have some luck. We in English find it very easy to say to be lucky. If I want to say I am lucky, I could say je suis chanceuse or je suis chanceux if it was masculine. But if I want to say I am lucky with the use of an expression, I can just as easily say j'ai de la chance. For example, I won a lottery and I'm lucky. J'ai gagné la loterie, donc j'ai de la chance. I'm lucky. Make sense? So you'll conjugate avoir with the subject, whichever subject you want to use, followed by de la chance, followed by the if you have to continue the sentence. Remember, the previous sessions we've had, we talked about how the and are play a very important role with certain verbs, right? So make sure that de la chance is followed by the. Okay? All right, super. Thank you, Shania. Who wants to go next? You guys can volunteer on the chat. You guys can raise your hands here. Whoever wants to, you can unmute yourself. Okay, anyone who wants to go with the next one?
Yeah,
Okay.
avoir l'air triste.
Avoir l'air triste.
Triste.
Superb. And what do you think that means?
To look seem sad.
Absolutely. To look or to seem sad. Very good. Avoir l'air triste. L'air means to seem or to appear. And triste we know is sad. Okay, Gurjeet, why don't you tell me if I say avoir l'air content, what would that mean then?
I'm happy.
Perfect. To seem happy. So we can just as easily change triste to any other emotion and that would become to seem happy. So if I say, let's say I'm talking to you, Gurjeet. Oh, vous avez l'air triste aujourd'hui. Vous allez bien? You seem a little sad today. Are you okay? So I use the expression with avoir to ask, do you seem sad or you seem okay or not? All right?
Yes.
Super. Thank you so much. That was perfect. I also have a pronunciation tip to give everyone while we're at it. And thank you, Gurjeet, for pointing it out for us. But this is one issue with pronunciation that a lot of students face. Now let me clarify that. The sound of A that we all are very habitual of adding everywhere. Understand, guys. Let me just take any random word, okay? Parler. This is parler. It's ending with er. This is parler, ending with ez. This is parler, ending with ais. This is parler, ending in ait. This is parler, ending in aient. And this is parler, ending with your accent aigu, which means your er endings, ez, ais, aits, aents, and e accent. These give you the A sound. Okay? Which means if I were to just say parle, this is parle, not parler. This is triste, not triste. Okay? Be very mindful when you use the A sound. It's a very basic phonetic rule. Okay? You have ER, EZ, AIS, AIT, AIENT. For those who can recognize it, this is base AIS, AIT, and AIENT are endings of your imperfect form. And those who've not done it, this is just a tip for you guys. So when you start doing it, AIS, AIT, AINT all have the same pronunciation A, A, A. And E and U obviously has the A sound. So all of these have the same pronunciation at this point in time. So when you have ER, EZ, AIS, AIT, AIENT, and E and U, they give you the A sound. If they are not there, please refrain from doing the A sound in the end. It's not right. All right. I hope that the tip helps you in the future when you read more words and read more text. Thank you. All right. Having said that, let's move to the next one. Anyone who wants to volunteer for the next one? You guys cannot. Okay, Rose. Voila, I see you. And after that, Rakesh, and post that Biswaji because I just saw you guys. Okay, Rose, super. Thanks for volunteering. You want to read the next one?
Yes. Oui. Avoir besoin de manger.
Super. And what would you like to connect that with?
To need to eat.
Absolutely correct. Thank you. That's perfect. We all understand that the word manger means to eat. So that's a no-brainer. Avoir besoin means to have need of. That's the literal breakup of it. To have need of eating. We're going to do some examples also. So it's going to get clearer for you. So if I say I need help, I would say j'ai besoin d'aide. I will not say je besoin. I have to use avoir because in French, in French, they do not say I need. They say I have need of. That's how you should think. Hence the addition of avoir there. All right, super. Thank you, Rose. We have I think Rakesh who volunteered next, and after that, Biswajit, it's your turn. All right, you can unmute yourself and please go ahead.
Avoir chaud,
Avoir chaud, super. And what do I connect that with?
to be hot.
To be hot, super. Okay. Now one question. When you see the term, again, it's I just want to make sure that I make this session fruitful. So I see some terms and I just want to bring in some phonetics. When you read AU, is it O or is it O? Which is the correct pronunciation for it? Is it O or is it O? Okay, so Shweta says it's O, Ankush says it's O. Padmapriya says O, Gayatri says O. All right, do we have any more votes? Shania says O, Priya says O. Okay, we have some votes. Okay, and it's a mixed response in the cohort. Let me clarify. It's O. All right, now I'll give you some examples, very basic words that you would know. All right, sorry, I know we're doing AVOIR today, but I just want to help you guys understand this rule. Okay, this is an English word. This exists in French as well. This is audio in English, but it's audio in French. AU put together will give you O. This means also, but this is not Aussie, it's OC. Let's take another word which is same in English. In English, this is auto, right? Automotives. In French, it is auto. All right, so make sure when you see AU put together, I don't know if it's something that you guys already know of or this is the first time you were getting aware, and I'm glad if it's the first time also because it's always a time to break that myth. AU is pronounced as O. All right, be very mindful of that. This is a phonetic rule. If you're not aware of it, just make sure you make a note of it, and next time you spot a word, try and use that rule. Okay, it's going to really help you when you start speaking more. All right. Thank you. Biswajit, it's your turn now.
Avoir froid.
Avoir froid. Very nice. And what do I connect that with?
To be cold.
Superb. To be cold. Now, again, like we see the word to be cold, essentially should be I am cold, like je suis froid. No, not at all. If I say j'ai froid, only then it means that I'm feeling cold. And like in the same way, if I say je suis chaud, I'm hot. No, it's not the same as you think. J'ai chaud is when you want to communicate, I am feeling hot. Okay, so we'll be very mindful of the two things. Super. Thank you so much. We have a couple of more to go. Anyone else who wants to volunteer? Okay, Sheila. Super. You can unmute yourself. Come on.
Avoir l'intention de.
Very nice. And what would that mean?
To intend to.
Absolutely correct. Superb. We clearly see that the word intention is in it. It's the same word as English. And again, a phonetic rule for you guys. Okay, I'm just making it all about. Okay, guys, I have a very bad habit of getting into whenever I see a chance to fix up pronunciations. And while Sheila, you got it perfectly right. I just want everybody to know a lot of words in English and French that you see that end in tion, you'll find them in French as well. So, like preparation is an English word. In French, it's the same spelling, same orthograph, but we call it préparation. Education, same word in French, same in English, same spelling. In French, it's éducation. So all your tion endings in French are pronounced as sion. Sion. All right? Éducation, décoration, préparation, formation. They are all words that exist in English as well. They have the same spelling, the même orthographe, the same spelling, but the pronunciation, sion. And all of them ending in sion are feminine. Okay? All of them are feminine. Because I understand, like finding what's masculine, what's feminine is always a struggle and a tussle. So just a tip for you guys, all of them ending in tion, which is sion, they're all feminine. Okay? So it will always be la décoration, l'éducation, la préparation, la formation. All of them are feminine. All right? Okay. On va continuer. Thank you so much, Rita. Anyone else who wants to continue?
Can I try?
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
I'm happy. All right.
It's avoir envie de dormir.
Very nice.
I feel like sleeping.
I feel like sleeping. Very nice. The word dormir means to sleep. Envie means to have a desire, to have a wish. So avoir envie de dormir literally breaks up into I have a wish of sleeping. Sounds absolutely ridiculous in English, but in French it makes sense. Okay? That's why I said at the very beginning, forget English for a while. Let that go out of your brain from one side. Otherwise, if you start translating directly word to word, it'll always be a problem. Okay? Avoir envie de dormir means to feel like sleeping. Okay? The pronunciation of en put together here is en. Envie. So, avoir envie de dormir. Very nice. Superb. All right. And who wants to go next? Anyone who wants to try?
Yes, I can try. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Avoir du mal à courir.
Avoir du mal à
Courir.
courir. Very nice. And what does it mean?
To struggle to run.
Absolutely. We all understand that the word courir, which is an IR verb, means to run. Avoir du mal means to have trouble or to struggle, okay? So break it down. Avoir du mal à courir means to struggle to run. Okay? Let's say you've broken your foot or you twisted your ankle. What do you say? J'ai du mal à courir, désolé. Je peux pas le faire aujourd'hui. Okay? All right. Lian, your turn. All yours.
Avoir peur de ma mère.
Hmm.
To be afraid of my mother.
Are you?
No.
Extremely. I haven't had dinner yet and now I'm going to get a shouting at. But avoir peur de ma mère or anybody you can put after that. The only reason we put an example of de ma mère is to tell you two things. Number one, avoir peur will always be followed by de. Like avoir du mal will always be followed by a. Avoir envie will always be followed by de. Avoir l'intention will always be followed by de. Just so that, you know, these small little errors that we make while writing in does and as, to avoid that with these expressions because we want you to use them accurately. Okay? Avoir peur de, to have fear of my mother. You can have fear of anything else. Okay, let's say you're scared of dogs. Avoir peur de chien. To have fear of dog. All right? So avoir peur de, peur means to have fear. So have fear of whatever you have fear of. Superb. Very nice. All right, who's next? Anyone who's not spoken yet? Okay, Rohan. Super. I see you raising your hand. Your turn. Okay.
Avoir raison de,
Avoir raison de. Superb. And what does that mean?
to be right,
To be
to
right.
be right.
Absolutely. To be right. All right. As you can see, it's in English it's always to be right to. I am right to do this and I'm right to do that. That's in English. In French, it's avoir raison de. Okay? If my mom says you have to eat right now, it's late. I'll be like, yeah, vous avez raison. You have a point. You're right. All right? Super. Thank you. We have the next three. I'll just quickly go through them. We have avoir lieu opaque, which means anyone? We have very few left actually. It means to happen in the park. The word lieu means place. We know that lieu au parc, at the park. That means having place in the park, which literally means to take place in the park. That means it happened in the park. Okay? Avoir tort de would mean
To be wrong.
to be wrong, absolutely, which means this is the opposite for avoir raison, which means to be right, to have a reason, to be correct, and avoir tort, which is the opposite of it, which means to be wrong. As you guys can see, I am not pronouncing the last T here, which is the T sound. We don't pronounce it. I've told you it's the dipsticks rule. Dipsticks rule, okay? T ending, you do not pronounce. Okay, so it's basically like it's called the dipsticks rule. Your they, pay, say, te, and eeks, when they come at the end of a word, you don't pronounce them. The only time when you actually hear the sound of it is when you have to do a liaison. That means you have to connect it to the next word which has a vowel. Okay? Hence the word time, which is tom. I don't say tomp. You don't say the p and the s. Okay? If I say the word petit, I don't say petite unless it's followed by a vowel. Reason, they're all ending in D, P, S, T, X, which is they, pay, S, te, X. All right, this is called the dipsticks rule. You do not pronounce them in the words end, which is why I've said tor. The last one, avoir 12 ans, which means to be 12 years old, which means for any age. You could replace this 12 with any age that you want to. But for age, you say j'ai, the number, en. In French, they consider it as I have 20 years. That means I have 20 years of experience. I have 20 years of life. Instead of saying I am 20 years old. So if you say je suis 20 ans, je suis 25 ans, no way. In fact, if you're at a B2 level and you've said everything correctly in your examination, believe me, the moment you say je suis 20 ans, that's a big red flag. Because it's one of the basics that you should know. And those of you who are even studying for TCF, and I'm sure in your TCF monologue, the first part, you express your age, be very mindful about the way that you express your age. Okay? So it's always avoir plus votre âge followed by en. Thank you so much for solving this cobweb out for me, guys. It's beautifully colored, thanks to me, and thanks to you, we have it all right. Super. Now, we're going to again get into some exercises where we can read and alongside we can apply what we've just studied. All right. Just as we saw, there are some expressions which finish with a and there are some which finish with the. Either way, they will be followed by an infinitive. Your prepositions a and the, when you have them, they will be followed by an infinitive, which means the full verb. Okay. So when I say j'ai peur de manger du chocolat, which literally means I have fear of eating chocolate, means I'm scared of eating chocolate. Your peur, which is followed by the, as you saw above in the list, that it's fixed, that peur is followed by the, and the will be followed by an infinitive. Similarly, on the other hand, when we take the example of j'ai dû mal à danser. Sorry, I shuffled in my head. I go between English and French like, okay. J'ai dû mal à danser. Make sure that your mal is followed by a. And because it's a, it will always be then followed by an infinitive if you're planning to use a verb there. Okay, so I struggle to dance. All right, so when you're going through the expressions, as much as it's important for you to understand what the expressions mean, it's also important to note if they are followed by those or us to get them right when you use them. All right, now let's see. We have a few sentences. We want to find out what do we want to put in the blank. We have the translations given to us, but we still want to know what fits in better now that you've done the expressions. All right, okay. We'll randomly we'll do it on the chat. Actually, you have the answer, you let me know. I'm going to read out this sentence for you all, and you guys just put the answers in the chat, whatever you feel goes. Okay, donc la première partie, c'est j'ai dash d'aider à protéger la nature. I want to say I am right to help protect the nature. Should I put tort in it or should I put raison? What works better? Raison. Absolutely, guys. Superb. That was quite fast, guys. Thank you. It was perfectly fine. Raison means avoir raison de means to have a reason, to be right, to be correct. So, j'ai raison d'aider à protéger la nature means I'm right to protect the nature. I'm going to quickly mark that response for you. Raison. Super. Now, the next one. Partie B maintenant, okay? J'ai dash quand je vais en vacances dans le sud de la France. Dans le sud de la France. I am hot when I go on holidays in the south of France. If I want to say I'm hot, will I use chaud ou froid? Il y a deux options. Perfect. Good job, guys. That was a no-brainer. That was pretty easy. Very nice. I hope you're noting how the examples are structured. Okay, because nobody's going to ask you the word meanings. It's how you use it. Okay, so j'ai chaud quand je vais en vacances dans le sud de la France. Ou j'ai chaud en été en général. I feel hot in summers usually. All right, next one. Partie C maintenant. J'ai dash de manger moins sucré pour maigrir. And I want to say I need to eat less sugar in order to lose weight. Besoin. Absolutely correct. I want all of you guys to note, nobody will ever say besoin. It's besoin. It's the z sound, okay? Besoin. Alors, la réponse besoin, c'est absolument correct ici. Super. Next, partie D maintenant. J'ai dash à faire mes devoirs de maths. And I want to say I struggle to do my math homework. Obviously, I'm talking about myself. Okay, what do we put here? Du mal. Very nice. Jasmine, Rakesh, Bisri, Rose, Shweta. Perfect, guys. That's superb. You guys are very fast and that's great. It's absolutely correct. Du mal. I struggle to do my math homework. It's perfectly fine. We use the expression du mal. Avoir du mal. The last one here. Ma fête d'anniversaire dash dans une forêt. My birthday party takes place in the forest. What do I put here, guys? Alio. Very nice. My birthday party took place in the forest. Very nice, guys. Good job. Because if I put a l'air, that would mean seems or appears. And that's not the meaning of the sentence that I'm looking for. So I hope you guys could just see how the sentences are being framed. Let's try another activity on the basis of the expression that we've done. And now let's do it the inverse way. Okay, let's try to translate them in English this time. Again, I would love to have volunteers so that you guys can read. I can fix up and give you some pronunciation tips. And maybe if you come forward and read, the others might also get an idea of how to pronounce it correctly. And I may be able to correct it for you as well if there's an error. So anybody who wants to volunteer? Okay, so we have Shania and then we have Rakesh. So Shania, you do the first one. Rakesh, you're going for the second one. And in the meanwhile, anybody else who wants to go third can just put number 3 on the chat. All right, Shania, all yours.
J'ai de la chance de jouer au foot dans mon jardin.
Very nice, Tomo Shakna. Very good. Absolutely. The pronunciation was bang on. Very nice. Can you also help us understand what this sentence would mean?
I am lucky to play in my garden.
Very nice. I'm lucky to play football
To play football in my garden.
my garden. Very nice. Superb. That's perfectly correct, both in terms of pronunciation and the translation. Superb. Very nice. Rakesh, I believe you were going next.
Yes. J'ai envie d'habiter à la campagne.
Campagne. Very nice. And what would that mean for us?
I wish to live in the countryside.
I wish to, or I feel
To-
like living in the countryside. Very nice. Superb. Oh, horrible spelling. In the countryside. Superb. One more pronunciation tip for you guys. Whenever you see your words ending in GNE, campagne, champagne, montagne, make sure that your GNEs are pronounced as near. Near. So you don't pronounce the G or the G sound from the throat. You don't do that. So it's near. Campagne, champagne, montagne. All right. It's the near sound. Okay. It'll help you get perfect if you practice it a couple of times. Perfect. Good job. I see that Viswajit has volunteered for the third one. So all yours. You can unmute yourself and help us read the sentence.
Mes vacances ont lieu en juillet.
Okay. And what does that mean?
My vacation takes place in July.
Okay. My vacation.
Is in July.
Very nice. The meaning would mean the same thing. Takes place in July, which means they're in July. But if I want to say takes place, I'll use the expression on lieu, and that would mean takes place. Super, very nice. I want to give a small pronunciation tip here. Mes vacances. Mes vacances. Always remember when the letter C is followed by the alphabet A, it gives you the hard sound ka, like kado. Okay? Instead of the soft s sound. Okay? So vacances. All right? Once again, mes vacances ont lieu en juillet. Juillet. It's July would basically look something like juillet. 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 Okay? We do not pronounce the double L that you see there at all. For example, if I give you the word, I'm putting on the chat, okay? Perfect. That's exactly what is coming at, Gayatri. Thank you so much for putting that on the chat for us. BA. You never say bile. Whenever your double L's come together, ILLE comes together, it's BA. Similarly here, because you see ILL coming together here, same way you're going to apply the same logic and say juillet. And whenever you feel that there's a struggle in pronunciation, please write it down like this, or whichever language you're more comfortable with, write it down. Whatever scripture you're more comfortable with, whatever your mother tongue is, please write it down in that ways. So what will happen? You'll connect to the sound better. All right, just keep that in mind. It may help you. It's just a tip for you guys. All right. Next one. Rose.
J'ai vraiment du mal à j'ai vraiment du mal à participer en classe.
Very nice. J'ai vraiment du mal à participer en classe. And what does that mean?
I truly struggle to participate in class.
Absolutely. I truly or really struggle to participate in class. Absolutely. Guys, understand your MENTs such as vraiment. These are adverbs. They add a lot of value to what you're saying because it gives it more, it adds more expression to it. You know how if I say it's a house, this is a house, it's a generic sentence. But the moment I say c'est une grande maison, what have I done? I've added an adjective to it. So I've given it more description. Okay, I've added another content value to it. Similarly, when you add adverbs to your sentences, it gives us a lot of value. You automatically just increase the content that you're delivering, more expressive. And for your TEF and TCF examination, especially with your TCF examination, guys, both the exams, in fact, for writing, adverb additions in your writings and speaking is supremely important. Supremely important. Like you cannot go without it. You have to do it. It really shows the examiner the expression, the intensity with which you're trying to express your point of view, whether it's in writing or speaking. So make sure that you familiarize yourself with adverbs, which are MENTs. Of course, there are more, like even your pakfua, suma, these are also adverbs. But your MENTs, these such a nice impact. Like when Rose read, her reading style automatically changed to je vraiment du mal. It shows I truly struggle. It adds a lot of expression for the person who's reading as well as the person who's interpreting it. Okay, very good, perfect. I see we have somebody who's joined for the fifth one also. Okay, Ria.
Okay, envie de regarder un film au ciné.
Very good. And what would that mean?
I feel like watching a movie at the cinema.
Very nice. I feel like or I wish to watch a film at the cinema. Very nice. J'ai envie de regarder un film au cinéma. Very nice. Okay, the last one, I think Sheila.
J'ai peur de parler à ma sœur.
Very nice. J'ai peur de parler à ma sœur. And what would that mean?
I'm afraid to talk to my sister.
Yes. I am afraid to talk to my sister. You guys may be wondering if I am actually saying I am afraid to talk to my sister. Why isn't it per à parler? Understand the expression that you've done with avoir per is always followed by the. But if you sit down and start translating it in English, it may not make sense. You'll always be in that diff, whether it should be a or the. Understand, avoir peur de is a fixed expression. So, j'ai peur de parler à ma sœur. I have fear of talking to my sister. One more tip for you guys. Understand that when you're sitting for your speaking examination, the examiner doesn't see what's written, right? Obviously, you're speaking on the spot, you're speaking from your head. There's nothing written that you're reading. So your pronunciations of yun, de, de, le, la, le, these article pronunciations, they play a very important role. Because the moment you say, let's say, le maison, understand, I would understand it as le. Whereas it's supposed to be la. But the only reason the examiner would note it down that this person has an issue with gender identification is that sound of la and la. I don't know how you write. I would only interpret what I hear. So your las and las and theys and thus and dues have to be very, very precise. Okay? So why am I mentioning this? This specifically. Actually, I'm just writing. This is your the sound. This is they. This is la, this is la, this is le. This is de. Be very careful of your pronunciations. Because if you say j'ai peur de parler, this is what I noted down as, and I know you've not used the expression correctly. You understand how the examiner's psyche would work there? So just be very careful when you're practicing also. This is very basic, right? Articles. Make sure you do that correctly. Okay, super. We have the next question in which we're doing the inverse. And this time, I want everyone to participate and write the answers in the chat. Okay? The first sentence. Okay, here we want to find out la traduction en français. We want to know the translations in French. So we've reversed it. I intend to download a series on Netflix. Come on, guys. Tell me on the chat, what should it be? I intend to download a series on Netflix. If you guys can't put the accents, that's okay. I'll still figure it out. That's fine. But let me just know the answers on the chat. Come on. J'ai intention de. You've chosen the correct expression, but it's j'ai l'intention de télécharger. Very nice. Une série ou une série? Une série sur Netflix. Perfect. So we'll not miss out on the le. Je l'intention. I have the intention. So je l'intention de télécharger, because intention is followed by the, of downloading une série, a series sur Netflix. Make sense? In a sentence as small as this, your elements such as le and the and une and sur make a lot of difference. Okay, so j'ai l'intention de télécharger une série sur Netflix is super. It's bang on accurate, guys. Very well done. Okay, let's try one more. When I'm cold, I stay at mine. When I'm cold, I stay at home. Quand j'ai froid, je reste à la maison. Perfect. Quand j'ai froid, je reste chez moi. Je reste. Conjugate, guys. Ruchi, Biswajit, your answers are very nice. Just conjugate rester. Je reste. Je reste chez moi. Perfect. Very nice, guys. When I'm cold, I stay at my house. So you can say chez moi, or you can also say à la maison. À ma maison. That is also okay. Very nice. Good job, guys. Well done. Very good. I like how the accuracy is following through. Super. Let's try the next one. The third one. I need to work abroad. I need to work abroad.
Pardon, which rester is correct?
The answer, the multiple are correct. So when you say quand j'ai froid, je reste chez moi, that's also correct. When you want to say quand j'ai froid, je reste à ma maison, that's also correct.
No, which rest? Is it with R, avec R, or without?
Oh, rester, that's your verb. So when you conjugate it with the form je, you conjugate it as rest. The usual ER verb, you drop the ER, add E, ESE, ONS, EZ, and ENT. Done. OK. J'ai besoin de travailler à l'étranger. J'ai besoin de travailler à l'étranger. Very nice, guys. I love the fact that we've focused a lot on the accuracy there. So, j'ai besoin de travailler à l'étranger. It's very nice. I need to work abroad. Super. Very nice. Very nice, guys. Lovely. Let's try another one. I am wrong to think that playing football is stupid. Once again, I am wrong to think that playing football is stupid. Just letting you know, guys, the word stupid in French also means stupide, if you want to use the same word. J'ai tort de penser que jouer au foot est stupide. Stupide with an E. Stupid is stupid only. Like, I mean, metaphorically also, stupid is stupid only. And in English, since the word is stupid, S-T-U-P-I-D, in French, it's stupide with an E. So, j'ai tort de penser que jouer au foot ou football est stupide. Is perfect. Very nice. Always remember, guys, it's que jouer. Sorry. Use que jouer au, yeah. So, que jouer au foot is stupid. Very nice. It's for the last two submissions, it's j'ai tort, T-O-R-T. Just make that a point. So, j'ai tort de penser que jouer au foot est stupide. Lovely. All right. Let's change the question. Let's go a little down below. I want you guys to understand something, and I know that depending on which level you are in right now, you may have done some, maybe most of the tenses that you see in front of you. As of now, just try to understand whichever tense you know it in the form of, and retain it of the fact that whenever you want to use any of these expressions in any of these tenses, when you want to say, I will need your help later, or I will feel hot if I go outside, or I felt hot yesterday, or I was correct yesterday, or if you want to say something like I intended to do something. Now, in these cases, you're still using avoir expressions, but understand your avoir conjugation will change depending on the tense. We'll quickly review it. And guys, no pressure. You may not know all the tenses depending on whichever level you are in right now. Okay. So just focus on the ones that you know and just keep the rule in mind so that whenever you come across the tense, you know what we're talking about. Okay. So if it's imperfect, which is imparfait, j'avais, I used to, or I was, il avait, nous avions, and ils avaient. What have we done? We've changed the conjugation of avoir in the imparfait form. And whatever expression with avoir we want to use, we'll use it right after this. For perfect, which is your passé composé. J'ai eu, il a eu, nous avons eu, and ils ont eu. Present, you guys already know. J'ai, il a, nous avons, ils ont, and so on and so forth. For future, my avoir changes its form to aurait. So, aurait, aura, auront, and auront. Conditional, luckily my pronunciation between my future and the conditional, at least for some, remain the same. So, it's j'aurais and il aurait. Nous aurions and ils auraient. Like I told you in the beginning of the session when we were doing the A sound, I hope that you guys can spot at least the sound difference. This is A, this is A, this is A. Ave, ave, and ave. Aurait, aurait, aurait. Do you see the A sound there? Do you understand what I was talking about when I said AIS, AIT, and AIENT? We're going to read some examples. La première exemple ici. Quand j'étais petit, you have to tell me, you have to choose which tense is corresponding to it, okay, in this particular sentence. Quand j'étais petit, j'avais du mal à respecter mes parents. What tense have I used here? And honestly, what does it mean? Anyone? Imperfect tense. Very nice. Okay, it's your imperfect tense. We're trying to tell you and give you a description of how I used to be when I was a kid. So, quand j'étais petit, when I was young or when I was small, j'avais du mal. J'avais du mal à respecter mes parents. I used to struggle respecting my parents. Used to. Something that used to happen regularly, repetitively, was a habitual. It's gone in the past. It's down in the past. Very nice. Option B. Partie B. Idéalement, si j'étais courageux, ma fête d'anniversaire aurait lieu à l'étranger. What tense have we used here for aurait? Conditional. Very nice. Conditional, guys. Conditional is the combination of using your future stem with your endings of imperfect. AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZN, AIENT. So superb on striking that. It's conditional. Very nice. So here we had imperfect. Very nice. Here we had conditional. Ideally, if I was courageous, my birthday or my fête d'anniversaire would take place à l'étranger, abroad. All right. Partissez maintenant. En général, nous avons raison de ne pas faire confiance à mes frères. What tense have I used for avons raison de? Present. Very nice. Obviously, nous avons, that's the present tense for our avoir. Gonna mark that. In general, en général, we are right to not have confidence or faith in my brothers. It's okay. All right. Next. Hier, elle a eu envie de faire à manger. What does this mean? First, okay, forget the meaning. What tense is this? Passé composé. PC. PC. Passé composé, passé. Oui, absolument. And we use the combination of avoir plus the past participle. We've used the avoir expression. Super. Very nice. Hier, elle a eu envie de faire à manger. Very nice. Next. J'aurai besoin de faire du sport la semaine prochaine. What tense have we used here?
Future.
Future. Very nice. Absolutely. Also, if you notice, we have the time indicator, la semaine prochaine, given over here, which means the next week. I will need to do sports or play sports the next week. So this is future. Very nice. Last one. Avant, j'avais froid dans ma chambre. What tense is this, guys, of avoir? Imperfect. Very nice.
Imperfect.
Superb. It's imperfect. Very nice. Lovely. We saw some expressions here, such as when I was young, when you read quand j'étais petit. You read expressions such as before, which is avant. These are some expressions common that you can use when you speak in the time of imperfect, which is was, were, and used to. For passé composé, we use the expression hier, which was yesterday. In present, we use the expression en général. You can also say généralement to denote something that happens normally, regularly, very generally. Now, this is your present tense. For future sampler, you use an expression like we marked here next week, which is la semaine prochaine, next week. Conditional, where we use terms like ideally, such as idéalement, and if I were, si j'étais, to denote conditional, to make my sentence more tense specific. We've used some terminologies like quand j'étais petit, avant, hier, en général, la semaine prochaine, idéalement, et si j'étais, to express these different tenses. And I hope that you were able to understand at a glance how avoir as a verb looks in imparfait, passé composé, présent, future, and conditionnel. You guys also saw some expressions which are absolutely basic and important with avoir, and you should know, you should be able to use them correctly. You should also know what comes right after them, whether it's a or the, because that's after which you follow with an infinitive. You did some expressions, sentences, readings where I did help you understand a little bit about the pronunciations, and I honestly, in whatever sessions we have in the future as well, I will be introducing these pronunciation rules, some grammar rules, whatever I feel is important for you guys and may help you guys in the future, even if it's not related to the topic. So I hope that you've just made a note of it so that in the future, when you're doing these readings, it kind of helps you guys. That's all that I have to do for today, guys, with the subject, with the topic of avoir expressions. I hope that those who walked in today with even the slightest of doubts, that's clear, who walked in with an empty head, have something filled in and were able to take back something from today. And I hope everyone, whether it was somebody from the A1, A2, B1 or B2 level, you were able to learn something new today. Please give me just a heads up on the chat if we're all good till here, you guys understood everything, And if you have any feedback for me, please put it on the chat. I would love to read that. It'll help me for my next session, of course. It helps us as a team a lot to grow and to deliver better lessons for you guys. Super. Thank you so very much, guys. Merci beaucoup pour votre participation. You guys were very participated very fast, actually very fast. I couldn't complete half my reading, but thank you so very much. You guys kept me on my toes. It was wonderful having you guys as the audience, and I hope to see you guys in the next session. If you guys have any doubts and you come up with anything ever with respect to the topic, please keep them handy and I'd love to answer them some other time. Okay? Okay. Au revoir et bonne soirée à vous. I hope to see you guys very soon, okay? Au revoir. Au revoir.